Hello. Hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, I asked what this conversation was going to be about, and what I heard: potential beyond your dreams. So, today is a special day. I don't know if you guys know that. It is a very special day. So we have all the stuff that's been happening with the Schumann resonance. We have the planet parade. We're in a new moon. The potential is just through the roof. Okay. Whatever that potential is, you need to be the one to choose whatever that potential will be. If you don't choose, that's also a choice. I wouldn't leave it up to someone else to choose. I just wouldn't. I would not be like, well, let's just see what happens. Not with something like this, because this is something that is literally once in a lifetime. The last time this type of event, energetic event, occurred, it was about 300 years ago. 300 years ago. And the next time it will happen again will be, I believe, in about 40 years, So whatever it's going to be, it's going to be. And if you allow yourself to recognize, like, what do you want? What type of potential do you want? What type of life do you want? Can you guys hear me? Hi, Myra. You can't hear me? Actually, I'm paused on TikTok. Hold on. Oh, let's see. Oh, I'm working. Something doesn't want you to hear. Ooh, I'm going to put in the comments. That's always a very telling thing if you're not allowed to hear something. And it's not necessarily like a bad thing on your end, if that makes sense. Sometimes you're at the cusp of doing something super powerful, right? Super duper powerful and profound. And whatever is trying to interfere with your journey, it doesn't want you to hear. That's crazy. You're not crazy. That's crazy that they would go that far for you to not receive a message. Usually when something like that happens, it's telling me that you absolutely need to be able to hear. All right, so let me, and then I'm going to pull. This is exciting. Okay, so 1 and then 2. Okay, let's get started, guys. So all of this energetic potential, just pushing. We need to do something with this. We need to make sure that whatever it is that will happen, it's something that you choose for yourself. Something that's super beneficial. Ooh, okay. So something is trying to really tap into your foundation. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. So a lot of attempt to derail, a lot of attempt to kind of frustrate. I sense like an uptick in frustration. I sense emotional swirling. And I think that emotional swirling has a lot to do with whatever is trying to prevent those who need to hear this from hearing it, right? And I don't know why you would get frustrated unless you're having technical issues. I don't know why you would get frustrated. Technical issues frustrate the hell out of me quickly, too. So, okay, down to your foundation, right? Something is trying to affect you down to your foundation. So there's two things that I'm picking up. There is this one part where something is trying to increase your awareness of how powerful you are, the different potentialities. The invitation from soul has already gone out. You're being invited to rise. You're being invited to live your potential. You know, I see the potential in everyone. And it's been a difficult learning process for me because although I see the potential in everyone, and when I see potential, that means if you just focus and do what your soul is asking you to do, you can achieve whatever that potential is rather easily. That's part of your path. That's part of your predestined set of experiences and accomplishments. But the hard part that I've been struggling to learn is just because I see the potential doesn't mean everyone I see potential in will actually live up to that potential. Not everyone I see this potential in will choose their potential. And I'm learning how to respect that. Are you going to choose your potential? Or are you the type of person that needs to be convinced that you have potential and this and that? I'm going to be honest. I just really don't have it in me to try and convince people of anything at this point. You're either going to be curious about your potential and begin to explore it, or you're going to be of the mindset that, oh, prove it to me. I'm not going to prove anything to you. If you don't believe it, then don't believe it. Oh my God, Emmy. No, not oh my God. Relax. It's your choice. I'm so serious. It's your choice. This is the period where we're learning how to make choices, how to choose things consciously for ourselves. This window that's opened right now, it's going to carry all the way through to the 3-3 portal. All the way through. That's a lot of potentiality already loading from tonight all the way to the 3-3-3 portal. So today, tomorrow is the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd. That's 3 days away. That portal is already open. With, again, the celestial events that are happening today, tonight. I mean, it's up to you what you want to do with it. It's up to you what you want to do with it. Ooh, this is okay. So I hope you don't mind me getting inspired by your comment. I'm not necessarily answering or directing this at you, Myra. It's more that soul points out your comment and it's just a speaking point, a general speaking point. So Myra says, my body constantly tells me I can't trust him. Can you trust what your body says if your body is holding trauma? Because trauma has a way of distorting our views regarding this and that, and really everything we experience. If you're unable or unwilling to allow yourself to experience somatic release, I don't know that you can trust your body in whatever your body says. So I was just speaking with a very, very dear family member, and it was this thing of they had an experience, right? And their experience, it ended in a positive way because they listened to whatever it was they were feeling. And I had a very similar experience, and it ended in a very negative way because I have a lot of trauma still stored in my body, especially when this event happened several years back. So it wasn't something that I could trust my body telling me that I needed to prevent this experience, right? And because I already had so much other stressful stuff happening, it was a dental thing that I was experiencing. So a filling failed, and then it got infected, and then it got super swollen, and it was just, I was in so much pain. It was all bad. It was all bad. And then, I went to this dentist because they were the nearest one who I could go to that could do IV sedation because I'm allergic to lidocaine, novocaine. The entire cane family will me. True story. And epinephrine too. So those things, he was able to offer IV sedation. And so when my body was telling me something, I couldn't trust it. Is it the pain? Is it anxiety? Because one of the last dentists I went to, they didn't listen to me, and they injected epinephrine and novocaine into my skull, at which point I had a seizure. Like, girl, that's not a coincidence. I told you I'm allergic. you know? So I had a lot of trauma stored in my body. Because I have that trauma stored in my body, especially during that period, the messages and my interpretation of the messages from soul, very hit or miss, very, very hit or miss, depending on what it is, right? There were some things that wouldn't trigger the more deeper traumas. And so if I listened to the urges, the messages from my body, it would be accurate. But there were other things where it was a much more traumatic experience, and therefore I couldn't listen, because then my mind would start to race, and it would be a thing of, is it right? Is it wrong? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I right? And then it would just, I would be like, I don't know. I don't know. Right? So this is a period where many of us are experiencing this type of thing, right? It could be in a relationship. It could be in something more platonic, like a friendship, connection with relatives. It could be something with work, or, whatever it is, right? If you have the traumas from the past still stored in you, especially if it's something that's very traumatic, something that triggers a neighboring type of experience. Maybe it's not the same exact experience, right? It's just a neighboring experience. It might trigger enough of that deeply buried trauma. And that causes us to not be able to receive the message, to not properly interpret the message that's being received, and then properly apply, the instructions from soul, right? So I read somewhere that our body gets angry with one by manifesting pain and dental problems. Possibly. I know for me, for sure, it's because I had unrecognized and unacknowledged hyperpermeable bowel since I was a child. And all that inflammation in my belly prevented me from actually taking in the appropriate nutrients through my growth. I did still grow, not a lot. I did still grow, but like the size of my feet, you would think that I would be like 5'10", but I'm not. Nowhere near, nowhere near. But it also affected quite a few things. And all the other things that are going on, genetic mutations that I do have, it also greatly affects my dental health. So it's a lot of different things. We have to listen to what our soul is trying to present to us so that we can better understand what exactly is happening. Is it something in the now? Or is it something from the past that's being pulled into the now? I don't know. I think only you would know that, right? We have to be careful about assigning people outside of ourselves to be the experts of us. I have a lot of gifts. I'm very accurate for a lot of things. I can pick up on things that are just, it's mind-boggling, right? If you think about what degree of accuracy I have, it can be very mind-boggling. But I don't know. I don't know what you need. Only you know that. I can give you my opinion. Absolutely. I could give you my opinion. I can help you to see from my point of view what I think is going on. But the reality is, only you really know. Only you really know. And I think for many of us, this period is going to open our eyes to how little we allow ourselves to know about ourselves and our journey. Look, awakening and intensification in reverse. This is telling me that for many of us, what we're struggling with really is not wanting to be aware, right? Trying to kind of like shield ourselves from what's happening because it's just far too intense. We want to stay in the stupor. That's an odd thing to say. That's what I heard though. Hold on. I know what stupor means, but a state of near unconsciousness or insensibility. Stupefied. Sorry. I had a I could not help myself. I had a Harry Potter moment. Stupefied. Okay, focus, girl. Focus. Okay, now that we're stupefied. Okay, so stupor. Late Middle English from Latin, from stupere, be amazed or stunned. Are you amazed that you've survived life thus far? I think for many of us, my mind's going to certain places here. I think for many of us, we don't realize exactly how much we are capable of until someone outside of us becomes stupefied, becomes amazed by simply witnessing us, right? Earlier today, I went to the gym and I don't know. I don't know why, but I ended up going to the front and I was talking to the ladies in the front. And I needed the barbell cushion thingy, the barbell pad. I was going to do hip thrusts. So I needed the pad. I forgot mine at home. And I don't know how the conversation started, but the manager and the worker, they were talking to me about macros again and drinks and stuff. And I was like, oh, I figured out a component of tweaking my macros. And it was because of conversation with you. So thank you for that. And then I was telling them what I was doing with it. And then I was like, can you tell since we chatted like a week ago if I'm regaining what I've lost? And then both the ladies were like, your legs are huge. I was like, thank you. Really though, seriously, can you tell? because I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe it. And I forget who, but one of them was like, holy crap, I just realized how much you've put on just since last week. And I'm just like, really? Because I can tell, but I can't. My clothes fit a little different, but so I'm wearing pants that before I got injured, these pants were tight on my thighs. They look like stretchy pants. They're joggers. That's how much I lost. They're still loose on my thighs, but I'm like, girl, you can see your VMO, right? That teardrop muscle on top of your knee. I can see it through the joggers, even though they're loose. So there's something happening. I can't quite tangibly quantify it in a verifiable way within myself, but someone outside of me absolutely can tell the difference. They can tell the difference. You can't see what you've been working on until way after the fact, but other people can tell. So sometimes what we need to do to allow ourselves to give ourselves the validation, right, to confirm that we're actually progressing, is allowing ourselves to hear what other people have to say. Not always. Don't fall into that trap either. But the potentiality of you is being witnessed more easily outside of you than it is internally. It's being witnessed much more easily. So I think for that journey of potentiality, the first thing that you need to work on is taking responsibility for your decisions, right? Are you making the decisions and selecting the options that are helping to increase the viability of that potential? I mean, be honest with yourself. Are you? Yesterday, I decided to wild out. We got like, I don't know, 8 to 10 pounds of smoked barbecue. I was just having a snacky type day. we literally got like 8 to 10 pounds, somewhere around there, of smoked barbecue ribs, smoked brisket. We got some tri-tip, smoked turkey. We got pulled chicken. And I didn't give a single F, and I was dipping it in sauces, right? Just wilding out, thinking that I'm just losing control. And then guess what? I decided today to log all my macros. I didn't log jack diddly squat yesterday. Today I decided to log my macros in one meal, and it's going to be my only meal of the day because really I can't fit anything else. Not only did I meet all of my protein, I far exceeded it. I think I was like at 150%. So let me see. I was chatting with my sibling. He sent me a video of him and his fiance looking buff AF. And he's like, we're smashing weights. And then I responded, I'm smashing macros. He laughed at me. So I'm clocked in at 123% of my macros, my protein for the day. Yet I'm still only at 74% of my calorie consumption. What does this tell me? This tells me that if you can hold yourself accountable, take responsibility for what you eat, right? Because I was expecting all of this to just totally screw up what I needed to do for the day. I'm only at 62% of my fat intake. I'm only at 74% of my calories. I'm only at 45% of my carbs, but I'm over 200 grams of protein. So what does that mean? All I have to do is eat the things that I enjoy for the rest of the night. And everything I did to my body today, and I did a lot, I'm going to be growing. In the next 2-3 days, I'm going to experience a visible difference in my musculature. All I had to do was take responsibility and log it. The amount of meat I ate yesterday, it was obscene. It was. It was obscene. And the amount of carbs that I had with it, just enough to get that protein into the muscle, just enough. It was obscene as well, but it's just enough. So did I mess up yesterday? I did have too much salt, yes. But did I mess up yesterday? No, because I loaded everything I needed to load in order to get everything I needed to do done today, which I did. If you allow yourself to see the ways in which your mess ups are actually priming you for the next part. I mean, are you ready? Are you ready for the validation, the confirmation, the evidence, the tangible proof that you are doing everything you possibly can? And every single time you think you mess up, it's nothing but a redirection. It's nothing but a recalibration. It's nothing but a dialing in of what needs to be done, because your potential, it's right there waiting for you to bring it in. It's right there. It is right there. It's not even something that you need to invoke. It's not something you have to call to yourself. It's something that, in order to prepare for it properly, you simply have to get rid of all the different things that you think about that are so negative that it creates blinders and you can't see how you're actually moving through your life. I think for many of us, we think we're failing when in actuality, life is preparing us to open our eyes to how much we've actually accomplished. Are you ready to see how much you're capable of? Are you ready to heal? Are you ready to heal yourself? Are you ready to allow yourself to enter into a space where whatever it is that you're doing, you can recognize it for what it is? Just another step in a series of steps that are getting you to where you need to be. There's a shifting in energy. There's a massive shifting in energy, and the shifting that's occurring is lining things up. So for some people, this shift is an undesirable shift because you don't want to change. I completely get it. Half the time, I don't want to change. But change is the only given in life. That's the only thing that's guaranteed, change. So by summer, if you don't want to change, you're going to really be struggling. It's going to be a really difficult thing. I mean, I hope you're able to avoid that. Some things you just have to experience, some hardships, some struggles. You just have to experience it because there's no other way for you to learn what it is you're trying to learn until you go through that adversarial period, right? I mean, that's what my life has shown me over and over and over. Like certain things, if I'm going to refuse to be pliable, flexible in my strength, then life and my experiences will absolutely break me because I'm being punished. No, because I'm being rigid. That's a choice that I made. Just like it's a choice that you make. If you choose to be rigid, then the likelihood of you cracking and breaking under the pressure of being bent into the shape that you are best suited to be, you will absolutely shatter. I don't know that that's a bad thing. It's a difficult experience. Yeah, absolutely. Is it a bad thing? Mm. There's a quote from a movie. It goes something along the lines of, "But did you die?" I don't know. I don't know that it's a bad thing. It's definitely something you're choosing, whether you realize it or not. So, if that's the case, soul is trying to encourage you to stretch. The more you stretch, the more you can easily take the form that is most compatible with where your soul is trying to bring you. I think for many of us, our soul is trying to bring us to a very powerful space. And if you can allow yourself to enter into that space and um, just flow, right? Not force, not rush, not slow down. It was a hangover. That guy's hilarious. Like none of those things. If you can just flow, let your life choose where it's going to take you, where it's going to send you, take you, move you, let you sit for a period. Things will flow much better. It will happen organically for you. If you're trying to force some type of success, I mean, it will be fleeting. You can do it, but it will be a temporary thing. And then you will be forced to try and find yet another way to go viral. And you'll just be riding all of the trends. And then you kind of, that's like a dime a dozen type of existence, right? I look at all the people who I still remember who were like this big deal on Facebook when I first started being publicly visible on Facebook. I don't see any of them having that anymore. Why? For the people that I remember. Well, because they were just writing trends. They were just riding trends. And when you ride a trend, you can't be your authentic self. And if you're not being your authentic self, then you're being a character, you're being a caricature. And then you're going to have to keep changing what you're saying, what you're doing, and finding different characters to play. That's no longer you living your potential. It's very ego based. Not to say that it's wrong. You're going to struggle a lot. You're going to be very stressed out. I see some of these large content creators who are not authentic in what they're presenting, the content they're creating. They're writing trends, and I see how stressed they are because they need that next big video. They need that next viral thing. They got to find that quickly, or, you know, and I'm over here just moseying along. Y'all can talk about whatever you want, say whatever you want about me. I'm not tripping. I'm just going to keep moseying along, being myself. I have no fear. Why? Because even if someone was really good at pretending to be me, they will still forever have to wait to hear what I have to say in order to copy it. That's job fucking security. No one's my competition because there's only one me. Yeah, there might be people who can do something similar. I haven't come across anyone. You might be able to. I don't know. I'm kept very isolated by soul. I'm not afraid if someone can do something similar. They still can't be me. See, people don't just come to me because I have the potential to heal. I have the potential to completely change their life. No. People come to me and continue to come to me as clients for years because of who I am. I don't mean, because I'm a celebrity. No, because I'm a genuinely caring, compassionate person. That's hard to find in this world. So your potential, it's already with you. It's already inside you. You don't have to be something else or someone else in order to live that potential. When you try too hard, that's no longer your potential. You're trying to force yourself to carve a path in wood using your fingernails. Yeah, you can do it, but do you know what that's like? Splinters under your fingernails? I don't want to do that. It's not efficient. It's not. And it doesn't create the type of friction that you need in order to continue moving forward. See, some people think you can rub two sticks together and use that to reignite your sacred flame. I mean, you can create a fire with two sticks, but can you use that to reignite your sacred flame? No, because it's on a different level of dimensional existence. Your sacred fire is made of something else. If you're going to confuse the human with the spiritual, with the etheric, I don't know that you're going to have the results that you're looking for. The etheric is already pre-planned. It's already something that's been very much considered. All the details are perfectly calibrated to give you the results that you're looking for. But then there's this human part of you that's trying to control the process. I've never felt more powerful than the day I realized I no longer want to try and control. Life will always happen in my favor. Why? Because I'm chosen, I'm blessed? No, because when I just let life happen and put the effort where I'm told to put effort by soul, fucking amazing things happen. I'm just like, what? For real? Just like with the adjustment to my macros, that one little adjustment, right? It was one little adjustment. Ooh, the massive amount of growth. I've gained 3 pounds in the past week, but my waist has gotten smaller. What's that telling me? Y'all, I'm gaining muscle. I'm gaining muscle. I like it. Now, if only I would do cardio. If only I would just agree to do cardio. I will. I will. Why? Well, on the days where I need to do cardio and I don't do it, I have to ask myself, how bad do you want it? How bad do I want cardio? I don't want it at all, but how bad do you want to win? Because every single other female that gets up on that stage beside me wants it just as bad. So I'm going to have to make a decision. How bad do I want it? And some people will tell, you know, and this is probably me being petty or me being competitive or me being a fucking competitor, right? Despite the fact that I haven't competed yet. There's this one content creator that I adore, like her physique, girl, oh, chef's kiss. She does wellness. And this year, oh my gosh, she wasn't ripped. She was peeled. I was like, yeah. But she didn't win. She didn't win. She presented her best self thus far, and she's been competing for quite a few years. She didn't win, right? And I remember I came across one of her videos where she was like, it was just an amazing thing to be up on that stage with other amazing women. It's okay if I didn't win. No, it's not. I'm not going to commit this much of my existence to have an amazing experience with other women. And if I'm going to adopt that mindset, I've already given myself permission to fucking lose. This is why I can't play games with people. This is why I can't allow myself to enter into a competitive space with anyone, because this is how my competition is. I'm not going for an experience. I'm going to fucking dominate. I want everything that I worked for. And if I'm going to go on that stage, it's going to be to collect what I have earned. And that's not to say I'm better than the other women. That's to say that's where my mind is. It does not matter whether the other women have more experience, are in better shape. There are so many factors that go in to what I'm trying to do. And it's not just being your leanest, being your most muscular. It's about having the confidence to showcase what you've built in the way that presents it the best. It's a competition between my fear and my courage. There's no woman that's my competition. Because I'm better? No. Because what I'm trying to do is show myself what I can accomplish. It has nothing to do with beating other women. They work just as hard. They want it just as bad. If your mindset's not there, if you don't even know what general direction you're supposed to go, what are you putting your shoulder into? Do you know? Because if you don't know, that's going to complicate. You need to have at least some sense of what it is that you've made your goal, right? So, for those of you who are not aware of the different types of categories for fitness competitions, they have different requirements. Bikini is different from figure, which is different from wellness, which is, like they're all different. Like bikini is more of just very lean and feminine. You do still need to have muscle, but they don't want you to be shredded. And none of those are like bodybuilding. There's no way I could do that. There's no way I could do that. But I know I can possibly do wellness. And I also think I could possibly do figure. The difference between the two: figure is about a complete physique, balance through your whole body, very athletic, very balanced. Symmetry is important. Wellness is about being more developed on your bottom half. I don't know which one I'll do. I was thinking about it earlier today. I have a year. Wellness, my legs are the skinniest part of my body. No matter how much I gain weight, my legs will always be super scrawny. I have a flapjack ass, or I did. So that would challenge me. But will it really? Because my legs are the fastest to grow on my body. So now, should I focus on figure? I carry a lot of my weight in my belly and my back. That would be a challenge. My entire posterior chain is my challenge. Either way, I'm challenging myself. So I'm just going to continue to push hard for the next 6 to 8 months. And whatever my physique is, whatever I'm better suited for, after 6 to 8 months, that's what I'm going to fucking pursue with everything in me. That's what I mean by flowing, but also having some idea of what it is you want to do. Worst case scenario, I'll just very recklessly lean out. I will still hold quite a bit of muscle, and I can do really well in bikini as well. But I don't want that. I don't want that. I want to see what I can accomplish when I finally show up for myself. And every day I choose to go to the gym, that's me showing up for myself. That's me showing up for myself. Every time I eat the things I know I need to eat, whether it's me crying while I eat it because I don't want to eat anymore, or it's me loading up on something I really, really like. That's me showing up for myself. Oh no, I do want to eat things that I really like. I mean, telling myself to stop overeating things that I really, really like, right? You have to be able to be flexible. And when you mess up, is it really messing up, or did you need to pause so that you could just see how this could potentially benefit you? I think for many of us, part of the reason that we struggle to even acknowledge what our potential is, it has a lot to do with the fact that we're in a self-preservation state. You're consistently just trying to survive. Aren't you done being a survivor? It's not enough to survive. This is the period where you're being presented the opportunity to thrive. Do you want to thrive? You have to do things that your soul is telling you to do. So, are you going to listen? Or are you going to fight your process? One of the things that frustrates me the most, sometimes I do this too, sometimes I see other people doing this, no matter who's doing it, it's frustrating as hell for me. This behavioral thing that I see where you're not willing to allow yourself to receive information that can better calibrate your understanding of yourself and your life and your choices because you already know. That drives me nuts. And it's not that it drives me nuts because people need to listen to me. It drives me nuts when I watch people having conversations with other people and I'm completely mute. And one of them is like, no, I already know. No, I already know. I already. Okay, so then that's the fastest way to get me to shut down in a conversation. Having that mindset, I'll just be quiet. Go right ahead. You already know, right? Where they'll cut you off and cut you off to let you know they already know. I remember one time there was this individual who, and it was many, many years ago, um, they had purchased an extraction for me. And then I had given them the results of the extraction. And it was all through email. And they were telling me like, oh, I need to do this and I need to do that. And then this. And then, I'm letting them know like, yes, I don't call it that, but I've already done this part and this part. And I'm trying to explain things. And they're basically, they don't want to hear anything I have to say. They want to show how much they know. So at that point, I just, a very short response of, so why did you buy an extraction? You should have just did this yourself. You could have saved yourself a whole bunch of money. It was a genuine question. Like, you know so much, should have just extracted yourself. Why didn't you? Oh, because I don't know how to do extractions. Oh, so why are you telling me how to do my job? And then when I'm explaining to you what I've already done, you're not receiving what I'm communicating to you. I'm good. Because then after all that, they're like, so what session should I book next? Nothing. Are you kidding me? Nothing. I don't need any other work. No, you need a lot of work. Oh, so what session? Nothing with me. Why? You know everything you need to know. There's no reason for you to continue booking with me. I don't need that in my life where you're combative because you need to show how much more you are than other people. I don't need that in my life. I don't need that in my work. It puts me in a space where, like, should I match your energy? Should I match your energy? Because it's like, when your dog is chill, and then there's a yappy dog that comes along and is like lunging at your dog, and eventually your dog is going to be like, all right, let me let mofo know. And it's like, no. And if you as the owner doesn't step forward and make sure like, no, hey, keep your dog away from mine, then your dog is going to feel like it has to take that role, right? So why be in that environment when someone, and this is why I'm sharing all of this, when someone is presenting to you all the ways in which they don't believe in your potential, they don't agree with your level of intelligence and capacity, capability, why the fuck is they still in your life? Why do they still have access to you? And you can sit there and be like, well, the reason I don't believe in myself is because they're there. Okay, but why do you allow them to be there? I'm not allowing it. But if they can access you, yes, you are. Well, no, it's a relative. I had a conversation with Michael this morning, the difference between relative and family. Relatives are people who you share genetic commonalities with. What's family? The people who enrich your life with their presence, the people who protect your peace, the people who encourage and facilitate your self-healing and empowerment. I have an amazing family. They're made of people who share my genetics, as well as people who don't. They are my family. I don't just allow anyone into my family. There are very specific things that I will not ever negotiate on. I will not compromise. I will not negotiate. I will not any of that. If you disturb my peace consistently, no, you are not family. If we share genetics, yes, you are a relative, and I cannot change that. That's fine. If you protect my peace consistently, even when I don't ask you to, even when I'm not around, you are my family. And I will do the same for you, even if you never ask me to. And the people I choose to be my family are people who would never ask me. As a matter of fact, if I offered, they would tell me no. And I would be like, absolutely not. I'm going to anyways, absolutely not. Right? Another thing I will never negotiate or compromise about. Do you hold space for my growth and my healing? Do you protect me in that way? Or do I need to consistently be on the phone with you, be on chat with you, need to be accessible to you? Do you need to parade me around? I've come across people who need to fucking parade. I'm a normal ass person. What are you parading around? That's like buying a clearance shirt at Walmart and like parading that around like, girl, that's not a flex. I mean, you might like that shirt. It might look good on you. But I mean, really, what are you bragging about? Like, why are you parading that around? And no, I'm not a clearance shirt at Walmart, but I'm just saying I'm a regular person. I don't like that. I don't like that. So I'll never allow that. I've come across quite a few people who have this type of mindset where they think knowing somebody suddenly makes them somebody. If you can't be somebody on your own, there's a problem there. You don't understand your worth. That needs to be addressed. That's a major problem. And I can't be around that because I'm highly sensitive to the people I spend the most time with. I can't be around that. I refuse to be around that. Well, because I think I'm better? No, because I want to be better than that type of behavior. I have no interest in being better than other people because I see everyone has their intrinsic worth. But I want to be better than simply being a mirror of that behavior. Earlier today, it was kind of funny, but it's not. It was a green light for us, and we were going straight, and the oncoming traffic, like, I don't know, this person made a U-turn, and we almost got in an accident. And my husband was just so upset. And he's like mumbling all kind of stuff. And I I was like, stop. And then the person, he already honked his horn and everything. I was like, yes, good use of the horn. And the very next light, the person made a right turn, and my husband's still saying stuff. And I was like, look, they already moved on with their life in that direction. I don't know why you're punishing us in the car with this toxicity. Like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Stop. And so he stopped. But I was just like, they already moved on with their life, sir. They're heading in a completely different direction. They're not even beside us anymore. Just move forward with your life too, please. Who you are at your core needs to be who you are at your surface. That's powerful. I got to write that down. Hold on. I don't know where I'm going to write here. Who you are at your core needs to be who you are at your surface. Okay, thank you. You added that too. Anyways, who you are at your core needs to be who you are at your surface. If you're assholeish at your core, I mean, at least you're not fake. I'm absolutely serious. I have the capacity to be an a-hole. Not usually. That's not my preferred characteristic, but I do have the capacity to be an a-hole. So when the environment is ripe for that portion of me to be at my surface and it's appropriate, I let that out too. I will not consciously choose to create blockages within myself just because the portion of me from my core that is appropriate for the circumstance in front of me is one that society says is not ladylike or is not nice. I wasn't born to be nice. I was designed to be real and authentic. And if people can't handle that, as my children would say, sounds like a you problem. By the time that portion of your characteristic that you're so ashamed of comes out, is it because you've lost control, or is it because that was the most appropriate yet unsavory reaction that was necessary? I know for me, and I can't answer for you guys, but I can answer for myself. Typically, by the time that attitude comes out of me, it's because really that was the most appropriate thing in order to neutralize whatever has been brewing. Whatever you're trying to force upon me, it needed to be neutralized, and that was really the only way. So I accept it now. Allow yourself to be a free spirit. Allow yourself to move through your process in whatever way your soul is asking you to move through it. And part of what you're going to move through is going to be an in real life experience. Whatever that in real life experience has to be fully present as you go through it so you can learn at the greatest degree of potentiality and not have to repeat that same exact lesson again. Excuse me. Sometimes you'll repeat a lesson, but it'll be slightly different because now you're aware, you've already gone through it and you're aware. And so you're at a higher degree of dimensional awareness. If you're at a higher degree of dimensional awareness, that means it's not the same lesson. It might feel similar, but it's not the exact same one. If you apply what you've learned the first time it happened, it'll be a completely different experience. So you choose. right? Because some people will say, the same thing always happens to me every single time. I don't know why I'm stuck. Are you stuck, or are you not allowing yourself to take a look at what the situation is teaching you? If you don't allow yourself to take a look at what you've learned through that experience, then you haven't learned anything. You haven't learned anything. That's not because you're lacking intelligence. For some of you, it's like, oh, she's trying to say I'm dumb. No, babe, I'm not. I'm trying to say it's because of your choice to avoid. Are you an avoider? I tend to be an avoider. I used to very much be an avoider, but I learned that avoiding is a surefire way to intensify the situation. So you're standing right here, and there's this thing that goes round and round and round, right? So when it gets to this area, if you're still here, it's going to smack right into you, knock you down as it goes around. If it smacks into you and knocks you down as it goes around, it has to rebuild that momentum that was lost when it transferred it into knocking your ass down. But I learned I'm going to jump up, right? Hermetic principles. So goes around, you see it, jump up, it misses you. Ah, ha, 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 right? It's kind of like jump rope, except every time it circles around, it gains more momentum. Ding. That was so not planned. So eventually you're going to get so cocky in the fact that I'm able to easily avoid this. I'm a master at this now. And then one of these days, you're not going to be paying attention. You're going to forget that it's approaching that time. And then you don't jump in time. You don't avoid it. And so what's happened? Well, I mean, how many years did you avoid it? That's how much potential kinetic energy has been added to the mix. It's not just going to knock you over. It's going to level the fucking shit out of your life. And that's what's happened to me several times. And so now I no longer jump to try and avoid it. I face it head on. I face it head on. And every time I engage this thing and push back, I've done another rep. I've increased in my strength. Every time I do this, I increase in my strength and my stamina. You're thinking, life keeps knocking me down and I keep getting up and I'm just so tired. And it just keeps knocking me back down. Okay, babe, you're doing squats. When it knocks you on your butt and then you get back up, that's a box squat. A box squat. So keep doing it. Then when you get tired, that's an entire set. Rack it for a few, catch your breath, and do it again. That's how you grow. That's how you increase your strength. So if you really want to tap into this potential, you need to start looking at what's happening in your life in a different way. I could either look at it as life is so unfair. I've had a lot of people try and fuck with me for no fucking reason. I've had a lot of people try and do some horrendous ass shit unprovoked. I'm not saying they try to victimize me, but I'm not a victim. My problem is I ignore and allow, thinking that my compassion will be viewed as compassion and grace, but instead I'm dealing with people who don't understand what that is. So when I show compassion and grace, they receive it as weakness rather than what it is. Is that the type of people you're dealing with? got to be honest with yourself. If that's the type of people you're dealing with, they will never learn, they will never grow, they will always only ever want what they believe only you can give them. So there was this conversation that popped up. And it was this thing of, there was an individual that I knew years ago. And for some reason, I felt very compassionate towards them. There was a conflict that occurred with a third party, between me and the third party. Third party just went ape shit. They got possessed and went ape shit, started all kind of shit. I didn't respond. And then this person, every once in a while, I would check in, just like, hey, how are you doing? You know, just well wishes for existing. Never talk shit about anyone to them. Just like, oh, guess what? This is some of the stuff that I have planned. And hey, what are you up to? And, you know, just like that for quite some time, maybe like a year or two. And then I realized, you know, I'm constantly the one that's initiating conversation with this individual. Maybe they're just being too nice to tell me that they really don't want anything to do with me. I'm autistic, so I can't read social cues. I don't read social cues. I don't know how. So when I realized that, I was like, oh, let me just stop messaging them. And if they never message me, then I'll have my answer. I'll know that, oh, they really didn't want to have a conversation with me and I was just forcing it. So then I didn't hear from them and I was like, oh, well, damn. I wish I realized that sooner. I mean, I don't want to bother them, don't want to irritate them. I didn't know. And my life went forward. And then I think like maybe 2 years or so passed. I don't know, quite a bit of time passed. Oh, the next thing you know, they're messaging me. And at first, when I saw their name, I was like, oh, maybe they just got busy and they're checking in. Oh, no. No. What was happening was that third party, they messaged, not the third party, this person messaged because they wanted to apologize to me for believing the third party. Because the third party was consistently talking mad fucking shit about me. Pure lies, of course, but they believed it. And they wanted to apologize because they felt they should, because of the fact that they were spying on me the entire time, reporting back whatever they thought they could to the third party. Except I never talked shit. I never plotted on anyone. I never did shit except like, hey, how are you doing? It's been a while. Anything new? Like a fucking oblivious ass Delulu Piscean. Yeah, that's me. That's hardcore Emmy right there. It's oblivious. Fucking oblivious. Yeah. And see, you guys might think like, well, I mean, they had an aha moment. Like, you know, you let them back. They're apologizing. No, babe. The reason they came back was because that third party finally fucked them over. And then they were like, oh, is this what this bitch did to Emmy? You never hear it from me. I'm never going to tell you. And, you know, I've had people like that come back. And then I'll be clear, like, no, I'm good. No, thank you. And then they'll still try and come back. They'll wait some time and then they'll try and come back. Why? Well, because I'm the only one that can protect them from that wickedness. In their head, I'm the only one that could do that because I was able to stand up to it and I didn't give a fuck. I'm not going to do that for you. Are you kidding me? For all I know, there's a fourth party that you're spying on me for, trying to get me to talk shit about someone I don't know. I mean, it's not in my character, but still, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. And I never will. You see, like I said, people will continue to circle back around. As long as they think they can access you, they'll continue to circle back around. You block them from one platform, oh, they'll find another platform to circle back around. They'll start a new profile. They'll start a new email. Hey, just want to catch up. No, focus on your potential. Believe people the first time they show you what their intention towards you actually is. Believe them. You don't have to be angry. You don't have to waste your time. You don't have to waste your energy. You don't need to have the final word. You don't need closure. Closure was the moment they betrayed your trust. Closure was the moment they began to plot behind your back. Yes, you didn't close the door, but you can absolutely be the one to deadbolt that bitch. Focus everything you have on your potential. This period requires movement. For those of you trying to be still, because that's what the card says, you're going to miss out on this opportunity. oh, I almost missed out on the opportunity to share. I'm actually doing a fire ceremony for the 333 portal. Everything that's being offered for this fire ceremony, it is supercharged. Today, we have multiple celestial events, including some crazy ass Schumann resonance, planets aligning, new moon, and all this other stuff that's going on, bridges being created. All of that priming for that 333 portal. That's in 4 days. 4 days. 3 days. You can't count today anymore. 3 days. So check out that link. You can click on the QR code or the link in the comment. For those who are on TikTok, simply go to the link in my bio on TikTok and it will show you everything that's available. Okay. So you need to keep your plans to yourself. I know. I'm so sorry. I know you wanted to share something with someone. No. Said no. 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 I said no. Absolutely not. Keep your plans to yourself for now. Okay. We need to make sure you protect the integrity of the plan. If you tell people, I hate to say this, for almost all of us, there's always exceptions. For almost all of us, there is at least one person in your circle who's only there so they can keep better tabs on you and better know how to sabotage your efforts. So just be quiet. Be quiet. You know what you could do? If you really need to tell someone, it works better with a rubber band. You like that. You go like that to yourself. That shit hurts. Even with this cloth one, it hurts. You just snap it. Okay? Like you pick up the phone. Hello, sorry, I have to call you back. And just put the phone down. Put the phone down. Okay? Just keep it closed. You need to, on a serious note, don't tell people your most cherished dream during this period. A lot of things are about to happen. And these things that are about to happen, they're going to require you to be able to hyper focus, hyper fixate on what it is. Okay. So this is not about working on your fear anymore. This is about finding the courage, hyping yourself up. And you know, as well as I know, that one person, if you tell them, they're going to be like, are you sure you should do that? I mean, I don't know. It just sounds, bitch, shut up. If you don't have the courage to say that to their face, you shouldn't be telling them. I'm not even joking. You should not be telling them. And if you have to wonder, come closer to your device. Bring it close to your face. What did I tell you? Don't tell them. Don't tell them. If you have to question, don't tell them. Like the very few people that I have in my life, like it's very, very few. I could tell them all kind of stuff. I could be like, oh my gosh, my period's super heavy. Oh my gosh, I have something going on with our pit. I'd tell them anything. I'd tell them anything. Shit. I'm fairly certain. I'm like absolutely confident. I could tell them my social security number and they'd be like, what the fuck's going on? I'm texting Frey. Something's wrong. They'll immediately delete my social security number and they'll be like, Frey, what's going on? Emmy has just sent me her social security number. Right? Have that quality of a circle around you. And if you don't, you know, now's a good time to start building one. Now's a good time to start building one. Now is a good time to really be honest about people's place in your life. And what I mean by that is sometimes we allow unworthy people into our inner circle to remind us just how sacred that circle is. And usually that reminder comes at somewhat of a cost. It's usually something that's uncomfortable, adversarial, sometimes painful, right? Sometimes it makes you feel betrayed by you or by them or, you know, whatever it is. So just understand everything that's happening right now, it's going to work in your favor if you allow it to. You have to be fully present and make these decisions. Select the options that you feel most drawn to. Okay? Unconditional love. You need to love yourself first. Okay? You need to love yourself first. Oh, Aunt Shell, you guys are all I have had the last 2-ish years. You've had some good stuff then, Aunt Shell. You've had quality. Yes. I say most people in our community across all the platforms I have are very good people. I say most because, you know, we got to leave room for the people who will find their way out at some point. Oh, hey guys. Well, I don't know if it's still active. I think today is the final day for the 50% off of my private sessions on my website. I think, don't quote me. I don't know. Try it and see if it works. For private sessions, apothecary, and crystals, I think. It'll show you as you're in the checkout, it'll show you. Well, actually, even before that. Hold on. Let me just see. I'm super curious now. Excuse me. Oh, yeah, no, it's still, it shows you. It shows everything is half off. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay. Final card. Let go. You got to let go of the dead weight. You got to let go of the festering feelings and all of that. You just got to let all those things go. Why? Because if your hands are preoccupied holding on to the things that life is trying to take away from you, trying to clear out of your space, you won't have the hands that are necessary to receive what soul is about to give. I think soul is about to give something seriously profound. And if you allow yourself to be present and use both hands, I think you'll see your life change this year. 2 potentials are being loaded. The first potential is what we're talking about, like an absolute change in your life, 180-degree shift, completely facing a different direction. You're no longer surviving, you're in a thriving space, and every aspect of your life is on the up. You are healing, you are stabilizing financially, emotionally, intellectually, everything. Just this thing of like, oh, God finally loves me. God's always loved you. Stop. You're going to feel the love from all directions. You're like, oh my God, this is life. This is what life is supposed to be. And then the other potential, I mean, it is what it is. You got my take on it? You do want my take on it. For that other potential, I would say about 80 to 90% of the world's population is going to choose that potential. They're going to believe in the hardship. They're going to believe that struggle. They're going to go ahead and continue to manifest more of the same. And they're going to continue to choose this over and over and over until nothing is left. And they're going to say, life just sucks. And they're really going to have nothing left. I don't want that for anyone, but that's not within my realm of authority to dictate how someone's life can go. But then there's also that potential where if you're part of that 80 to 90% of the world and you're like kind of headed down that path, and then you're like, you know what? No, I'm not doing this again. I don't want to do this. I want something else. Woo! That feeling that you have as you declare, no, I'm done, enough, that will completely change your trajectory. You just have to choose it. You just have to want it. You just have to stick to that choice. I do declare at some point this year, I'm feeling probably sometime during summer, the different potentialities that are positive and life altering, potentialities that my soul has been waiting for me to kind of be on board with, potentialities that will forever change the way I exist. I give myself permission to receive all of that which is appropriate for this period of my life. It doesn't have to be everything, but it has to be everything that's appropriate for where I'm at with my growth, with my mindset, with my purpose, with my development, all of that. Yes, soul, bring it on down. Bring it on down. I will receive it. I will catalog it, and I will implement everything. I don't know if I'm ready, soul, but I trust that you know. And if you say I'm ready, then give me the experiences that you know I need to show me that I am ready. And I feel like I've already been receiving those experiences that tell me I've cultivated enough of myself. I've embraced enough of myself. And I have learned to love enough of myself that I am appropriate in my action and reaction for every single circumstance placed before me. And what this is telling me is that I've reached a level of maturity where I can handle more in my life, more public exposure, and more responsibilities pertaining to the collective. I'm nervous. I don't quite know what all of this means, but I trust my soul. If my soul says I'm ready, then hell yes, I am. I'll do it while afraid. I'll do it while nervous. I'll do it while wondering what the hell about me was ever so special enough to be tasking me with this kind of crazy shit. I believe you, soul. I believe you. And I will do whatever I am now mature enough to do at this point in my life, knowing I have so much more maturing and healing still to come. And I hope you guys can claim that as well. Allowing yourself to be fully present and fully received during this period. It's crucial for you to allow this now. Please be part of that 10, 15% of the people who have the courage to allow themselves to release the ancestral curses, the ancestral wounds, the ancestral toxicity. And it's not that our ancestors were less than. It's that they gave so much to give us more than they could ever do in their time. There was someone who was on about something. Let me find the comment. It was on one of the videos. It's for my video called The Blueprint of Your Soul's Past. It's a short, The Blueprint of Your Soul's Past. And it was like a 15 or 30-second video. Person's tripping. They put, how do you know this life isn't one of the ones that's supposed to give you an aversion to something or whatnot for a next life when your soul is needed? Way to value some lives more than others and just say you are one of the ones who matter. Okay, but that's every life. Every life you're currently existing in is the one that matters the most. Are you fucking dumb or are you stupid? You got all of that distorted thought out of me saying something in a very matter-of-fact way. As a matter of fact, hold on. Hold on. Let me just. The origins of your soul. All of the details of your previous existences for probably 10 to 20 existences before this one. Those were all carefully selected experiences to cultivate an understanding, to cause you to be drawn or averse to certain things that will ensure that you get to the point that you need to be at. This is the year you choose this. The origins of your soul. That's what I said, which is basically the message from today's video. You know that this life is a precursor for the next. Fucking weirdos. Every life that you are living is the most important life you've had, because just like you learn to count in kindergarten, and then in a later grade you learn to add, and then in a later grade the adding then becomes learning for multiplication, which in a later grade then becomes the learning for all sorts of other more advanced mathematical computations. Every existence is the most important existence if you are currently living it. But keep in mind, the life you're living right now is a precursor for the next one. It's adding to the richness of what you will learn in your next existence. And then I bet they used their troll account
The details of your
to go ahead and hype their own comment up by saying exactly. People will hear only as much as they are capable of accepting about themselves. They can't accept that every single one of their existences is a special one that leads to the next, which leads to the next. So because they can't accept that about themselves, none of us are allowed to ever accept that about ourselves. Choice is yours. You let someone else dictate to you what you will allow. They will overrun your entire existence. You simply share if you want, publicly, privately, whatever. Share whatever thoughts you want and let people decide what they will do with that. I didn't even bother responding because my first response was, "Are you dumb or are you stupid?" I was like, no, we can't say that. We can't say that. We want to, but we won't. We won't because we're learning to be nice. We're learning to behave. We're gonna behave. So I didn't respond. Had nothing to do with them, everything to do with me. I don't have to respond to all the idiocracy that I come across. I don't have to, right? So, final thought before I go. As you begin to choose to really enter into your sovereignty, to really take authority over yourself, your thoughts, your perceptions back into your control. I know a lot of people come out of the woodwork to try and convince you that you're weird, you're dumb, you're all this, that. They're talking about themselves, not you. Don't listen to them, don't entertain it. Keep it moving forward. Okay? Yes, some past life goals for this one is in one's astro houses. Main ones are the 8th and 12th houses, life missions and soul goals. Exactly. But I mean, don't let them hear that, Teresa. Teresa always has amazing input. Don't let them hear that, Teresa. Next thing you know, they'll be commenting on your posts, letting you know how wrong you are and how horrible you are. These people are crazy. Anyways, I hope everyone has an amazing evening. I got to get ready for my class. I'm going to be teaching and talking about some really intense stuff tonight. The potentials. I love it. One last reminder, I will be live on March 3rd for that 333 portal. And if you want to check out what I have available, click on the QR code or the link in the comment. For those of you on TikTok, go to the link in my bio and it should be there. And then also, tonight is the last night for the 50% off for private sessions, apothecary, crystals. Yeah, pretty much everything. It's the last night for 50% off. I shouldn't say this. We do accept payment plans. As long as you initiate the payment plan while that 50% off coupon is still active, we honor that. And we don't require monthly payments. We don't require a specific date. You pay as you go, whatever you can afford, that's what you pay. And then I think my husband schedules it after the balance is paid in full. So some people take a couple weeks, some people take a couple months. I've had people who worked really, really hard around their very limited budget, and it's taken them a year. And that was the most profound sessions I've ever had, because they worked so hard and it took them so long that it was something that they were just so fully present in. There's nothing shameful about needing some time. But as long as you initiate that payment plan before this coupon is done, we'll honor that 50% off. The price doesn't change just because a coupon is done. Okay. So I love you guys. I will see you again very soon, very, very soon.